It's already rolling. So 5, 4, 3, 2,
1. Bye, yeah. Welcome to the Week 8 of the Chop Shop. I'm here with my man, Working Low. It's me, Al. We're going to bring you, we're going to talk about a topic that was brought up amongst people talking in certain places. I don't want to say because I ain't giving us the credit like that. So, but the best team in the NFC, and we're going to talk about the hidden team, the best team in the AFC, which we obviously know, but we're going to save that down the line. NFC.
Man, it's the
on paper, Dallas Cowboys have the best record.
Conventional wisdom says the Cowboys. They're 6-1.
But that doesn't, to me, make them the best team in the NFC.
Nah.
They just make them have the best record. And the reason I said that, the standard for them was set when they played New England. If they would have lost to New England by a close margin, then I would say, well, then you know what, Dallas could have really won that game. But they didn't. Then, when they laid a goose egg on Monday night with Buffalo and came back to win it at the end, that showed me that their tendencies aren't there to be a dominant team. What you gotta say, man?
I agree that I'm not ready to just hand this shit over to the Cowboys.
Right.
Especially with the Giants creeping back up on them. Giants, did themselves a little bit at the beginning of the season. They
Green
lost.
Bay 5-1.
Yeah, and that's what I was leading to.
Okay.
That the Giants is creeping up on them.
Right.
But Green Bay is surprising as it is. That's the team that I would look at like, hey, top of the food chain. You give it to Dallas because the record says so. You are what you are. They 6-1. But the Packers are right there with them.
Right.
They have a solid defense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Woodson and Al Harris. You got to believe that that out of the NFC, that's probably the top corner tandem. Next to maybe,
right.
I think the most solid is the Redskins.
Athletic-wise, skill-wise, and just overall cover. They could cover a lot of guys one-on-one.
Yeah. As far as corners, I think the best tandem of secondary, or the best secondary as far as DBs is probably the Redskins overall.
Right.
Brett Favre is playing a whole lot better than I thought he would play.
He's throwing that thing around the field. Though.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He's slinging it.
He's slinging it, and his receivers are coming through for him.
Right.
They didn't play that hot against Chicago. They dropped a lot. I think they had to smell themselves a little bit in that Chicago game.
Right.
And the running game. I think if they give whoever's in the backfield a chance to run the ball more, they'll really stand right there with Dallas.
But they surprised a lot of teams with that. The thing to me, and I know, in no disrespect, Cowboy fans, this is my opinion, and this is just how I see things, how I interpret things. Okay, when you look at the first half of the season, you're gonna have teams coming out the gate strong, and you're gonna have some teams that are good that's gonna get a slow start. Now we're in the second half of the season where the teams that Dallas and other teams have played before, the other teams are going to see them again. They're going to adjust. They got film on them. They know their tendencies. They did the scouting reports on them. And you also got to factor it in you. So it's not just a clean runaway and that the Cowboys are going to do what they're going to do. Because Tampa Bay is still in the mix. You got Carolina in the mix. You even got Seattle, Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit, Washington.
So they're just, and Washington is an ugly 4-2.
Yeah. Yes, it's a real funky
4-2. Yeah. This is what's key. You don't know who's going to come out the pack that's going to start peaking. Dallas, they got out the gate strong and they made their identity known that, okay, we're a good team. We can play and we can win the games that we're supposed to win. And we could dominate a game every now and then.
And this go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go.
This is where you also got to start looking at personalities of teams.
Right.
Statistics will help you. It will guide you, make some good picks. It will help you understand what your team has done. It gives you a track record. But personalities of teams.
Right.
Who takes a loss but handles it good.
Right.
Who takes a loss and bounces back. Who has a string of victories and keeps themselves humble, and who all of a sudden thinks their shit don't stink. This will all tell you, like, okay, when it comes down to playoff time, who's going to find themselves back into a corner and be able to fight out? Who's going to find themselves on the bubble of making a wild card spot? Who's going to crumble under that? Who's going to rise to the top? That's what you'll see in the next, 4 weeks. You look at Denver.
Yeah.
You look at Denver, who's 3-3
AFC.
But honestly, all three of their wins have been last second wins. They pulled the okie doke on the Raiders.
Yep. The week before, they pulled a last-second heroes with no time on the clock, ran everybody on the field against Buffalo.
Pittsburgh, they came out there, and that night they dedicated to the two guys that passed away on the team.
Yeah, Durant, and I forgot the other gentleman's name.
Yeah, but
God bless.
Yeah, they dedicated that game to them. They had both the parents of both players, I think, come out.
So that was an emotional.
So it was emotional winning through all that. They had a last-second field goal to win that game.
Right.
So they potentially could be on with 6.
And that's the sign of a good team that can win certain games. Now, the thing is now, they at 500. You don't know if they're going to go up or down, or they might make a good run, depending on the strength of schedule.
Yeah, it's strength of schedule, but this is a team that definitely has heart. Right. Will fight you to the end. Right. They can make life real bad for you. If you're a team who's sitting with a higher echelon record, thinking like, yeah, we who we are, y'all nothing. Right. They'll come up and bite you in the ass because obviously this is a team that fights you to the death.
Yeah, and best believe Shanahan, good coach. I don't care what you say about him, but somewhere in there, his coaching ability stands out superior above regular coaches because he knows how to win and manage a game in the close seconds, closing down.
So I look at it like this. You go NFC East, I give Dallas their props because they've done it.
Well, yeah.
Now, and the Giants, you're sitting at 5-2. Redskins sitting at 4-2. It's a funky 4-2. But this 4-2 getting better is all going to come down to what that defense does and what those receivers do. Right. Clinton Portis, I think he's money in the bank. Right. But what is your quarterback going to do? Yeah. Because he's never been in this situation.
And that's where the inexperience, or has he made the learning curve to take it to that next level as a pro quarterback?
Yeah. Now,
Jason Campbell, right?
Yeah. Okay. Now, Santana Moss and Randall L. Two fast, shifty receivers. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to have to see what they're made of when it comes down the stretch. Right. Chris Cooley, for what it's worth, I think is the best receiver. I know Big C going to have issues with that, but I think that is the best receiver. Right. And that's what's going to depend on them doing something. Right. The Giants, I think you got a shitty deal from the NFL having to go play in London. So I'm going to leave you right there, but if you slip, Redskins going to overtake you. Philly, show and prove. Right. NFC North is Green Bay's world. Yeah. Detroit, you're another funky 4-2, and you're going to have to get a running game together. Yeah. So Green Bay, Cowboys, Carolina, and Tampa Bay are going to battle it out to the end, and I think it's the same thing with Seattle. They're gonna win the division, but Arizona's going to make it rough for you. So it's going to come.
They're playing pretty good.
They're playing pretty good. So, you know, Dallas, beware. New York and the Redskins are breathing down your neck. Right.